Hello Void Armada, Ashyer here, and I'm going to discuss my rounded character build. I am an engineer, and I started out in the Discovery, so I got to see all those. But the thing I'm going to show you is the things that I chose to make me, well, me. So we'll go over here to Captain Skills. And even though I'm an engineer, I decided to make a pretty balanced build, and I'll tell you why as we go through it here. So in hull restoration, I picked all three of those because that's one thing that engineers can definitely do is heal, and there's a lot of skills later on that will aid in that. And you have a good base for that. And there's a lot of that going on here in the engineering side about healing, and there's hull capacity is a big one too. I chose two of those, but I just didn't feel like a point is worth that third one. Here's shield restoration, also healing that, and shield capacity, but that third one just wasn't enough. 4.5%, too little for one full point. I like energy weapon training, and there's a lot of that in here too. Is who are you as a player? I like using beams, and I like being stealthy. My nickname is Houdini, so I like to disappear, reappear, shoot you, and well, disappear again. So I've only got one in projectile weapon training because plus 50 projectile weaponing for 1 point is a pretty good deal. The rest, not so much worth spending points on. We go down here to Lieutenant Commander. We've got all across the board the top ones here, and I'll start with the Engineer Electrosystem Plasma Flow. Well, that is how fast your power goes from one thing to the next. And I've got improved there so that it's plus 100%, so it's 100% faster than someone who wouldn't have any of that EPS flow, boost. And then here, always take the shunt, because when you go from full impulse, you want those weapons and shields ready to go right away when you get into battle. And I also like to fly fast. I mean, I really dislike ships that move slow, though I have played them, and some of them have their roles. My favorite are the fast, like I said, stealthy ones. So I took Impulse Expertise and improved. I didn't feel that that last one was worth the point, since it brings you only up to post 40%, and there's things that you can put on your ship that are much better than that, but as a base building tool, they were worth those points to me. Here we have Control Expertise and Drain Expertise. I used those two because not necessarily that I'm going to do science a lot, but they also defend against those things. They control resistance, drain resistance. I do use a couple of things, including Delayed Overload Cascade that uses drain as its primary, so I have chosen the improved Drain Expertise there underneath it in Lieutenant Commander. In the tactical side, I got targeting expertise, give me a little bit of extra accuracy, but I prefer to use councils because they have giant leaps in those. Same with defensive maneuvering, which gives you a small boost in your defense. I got it up to 12.75, and that's just a base because we go off of there and get other things to get it up over 100 in shipbuilding, which I'll get to in a different video. Alright, let's go back down here into the Commander of Engineering. We got hull plating here, which is energy resistance and kinetic resistance. That's basically everything. Somebody's going to send damage against you. It's going to be energy or kinetic, mostly. So I like to have those two things up for resistance, because that is the basis of an engineer is to protect yourself and heal. And here is damage control, which is base regeneration rate, out of combat plus 50% and in combat 10%. And there's other things along the way that you pick up for your ship that are going to make that even better, but you got to start with a base somewhere. Here I chose shield hardness because that's worth it for plus 50 shield hardness, and it negates 10% of damage. I felt that that's a good thing, but not necessarily filling out all this shield regeneration or the rest of the hardness, because your shields pretty much disappear right away if you're in a big battle, and I focus more on the hull. Weapon amplification. I also like to hit hard, so there's critical severity bonus plus 20, up to 34, and then up to 40%. I think that's a big thing, and it's a good deal for how little you get out of the councils you put on your ship. So it's a great foundation. And over here you get plus 2% critical chance, and then up to plus 3.4. I did not feel that a 0.6% was worth spending a skill point there, especially since you can boost it with other councils in your ship. But you do need that critical chance, because if you don't have a chance, you're not going to do the severity bonus. And that's all your Cat 2 damage. Category 2, meaning the stuff that comes after the primary. The king of the stack right now is bonus damage anyway, but we'll get to that in other videos. Alright, back into the captain abilities. Down here in engineering, I've got offensive subsystem tuning rather than defensive, because if it comes down to it, I would rather hit first than wait to be hit. So I fly fast, I fly stealthy, and I make sure that there's enough power in my weapons and engines to pull that off. So this automatically gives plus 4.8 more power into the weapons and engine subsystems. Now this is the on the side for my character. Exotic particle generator. It is the bread and butter of the science character EPG. This is a only way to create a foundation of that. There's a lot of things that boost it after that, or make critical chance after that. But if you don't have this to begin with, you're not going to be doing much with your science abilities, as most of them depend on that. And I use, like I said, that delayed overload cascade, which is also a science thing. And I've taken 2 ranks, so I've got plus 85 to the EPG, and that's a good start for your character. Long-range targeting sensors, since I like to shoot things with beams, I took all 3 of those because I don't want a penalty for being just a little too far away from my target. And over in the tack side, I got hull penetration because I want to be able to do extra damage. 50 with that, and 50 shield penetration. Those seem to be great bases there. The rest of them go down as we go up the stack here, so they weren't quite worth spending the points on. So I didn't take them. Besides, there's councils out there that really increase that that number. Shield penetration, Lorca's custom fire controls. It's got you handled once you get that in the discovery rep. Alright, let's go down here to Admiral. The last few points, I chose technical readiness because I want to be able to get things going faster, like beam overload and, you know, scatter or high yield torpedoes. Now over here in the science, I did shield mastery because I neglected shields up further up top because they go down right away, but when they go down, I want to be able to bring them back up. So we've got this negating 1 critical hit, and when it's triggered, it restores shields at 20% of incoming damage, or 2,000, whichever is greater, and it reflects a teeny bit back, but it's, you know, shield restoration nonetheless. So you don't have to worry so much about that shield thing, because you just take that one thing in science and you've got it for your health and for your attack. And then the last 2 are the Admiral in engineering readiness 1 and 2, giving me a total of 17% plus 85 for engineering readiness, because that will be the bread and butter of all your healing, like engineering team, things like that, that heal your ship, traits that heal your ship and turn around. And we'll look into some of those right now. Here we got ground skills, and this is basic, that what I'm going after. Oh, let me go back quick and show you these things that I picked here, just because these all depend on how you play. I picked battery expertise because sometimes I put those batteries in there for weapons battery, shields battery, and that makes them better. Here we've got transwarp cooldown because I don't like traveling in sector space. I want to be able to transwarp to a lot of locations because I'm a higher level now and I can go more places. If you finish your diplomacy thing with your duty officers, you get a whole lot more places that you can transwarp to, and I want to be able to not wait those 5-minute cooldowns, so that cuts it down. Threat control, that has to deal with a specialization that I sometimes use called strategist. It increases that 100 times, so full 100%. Projectile critical chance, that is gold, plus 1 critical chance. to get that critical severity bonus going with a projectile. Starship stealth, like I said, I like to be stealthy, so I'm always going to have just a little bit more stealth than what that thing says I'm going to have. And then maximum hull capacity, of course, I like to have my ships have a lot of hull capacity, though I do like smaller ships, so I need those things to make those small ships have bigger hulls. And here we've got, the one I chose was the engine subsystem power, because I like to go fast. Like I said, these are personal choices. Starship perception. I don't like other people being more stealthy than me. I want to be able to see them. And lastly is the energy critical chance. Of course, that's another gold one. 1% for your energy weapons. That gets you into that critical severity damage. All right, let's go through ground skills here. First, I pick all 4 of the first ones on each category because they're just the basis for your ground. Weapon proficiency, endurance training, your kit performance expert, and personal shields expert. So that covers all 4 of those bases. Personally, I think that the weapons and the kits that you put on are the things that give you the best scaling of your damage. You don't need any of that weapon stuff. I do like to have regeneration and more hit points and armor so that I'm not hurt so easily. But I fill out kit because the kits in this game are, well, not just the most fun, but they do the most damage. So you want to be really good at using any kit that you'd put onto your character. And now these traits, I'm going to show them to you. See, I am an alien, so I get this extra slot at the end, so I get that full block of 10 traits ground, 10 traits space. And I will go through these blocks. Let's see here. We got aggressive because that's bonus damage. We got assault drone fabrication, which makes me create one. Some of these are not traits that are available right away in the game, and you'd have to get out of a box or something like that. But you get the idea. See, I like to build robots as an engineer that help me and fire at my enemies for me. This one is that hollow decoys. That's the one that makes copies of yourself that just kind of walk around and get shot. Creative, that's more kit performance because I believe that the kits are the best. Lucky, there's your critical chance. Peak health, once again health there. Shield, photonic armor protocol, incoming critical hits gain temporary hit points. That's, can't beat that. Physical strength, I also like to use swords for people who see me in action. So I like to get in there and attack with melee attacks and have extra stuff. Field technician, there's another kit thing, kit readiness. And adaptive defense is just more defensiveness. So I don't like to die, and I like to use melee weapons on the ground. In space, here we go. There's that beam thing. I like beam barrage. You get that once you get the beam school and R&D up to 15. And here's superior beam training. It's better than just beam training. You get that at the fleet by going to the biologist at K13 and buying it so that you get plus 7.5 instead of just 5. Fresh from R&R is a special trait that makes your cooldown teams faster. Context is for kings is an interesting one. I'm wishy-washy on that. In and out it goes. If you did take damage, you get plus 3 damage resistance. If you did not take damage, you get plus 1 bonus damage. And it changes back and forth depending on what you're doing. And in point blank shot, I like to fly fast, I like to sneak up on people, and I like to hit them. So the closer I am, the more damage I do. And this is on the third part of that calculation, which is the bonus. So this is bonus energy weapon damage. If I get right up on you, I get 10% bonus energy damage. That multiplies everything before it, including crits. All right, give it your all. That is, let me see, I think this is, yeah, engineering school 15, you get that. So you dodge 20% of all incoming damage for 3 seconds whenever you use an engineering bridge officer ability. So, and since I'm using those all the time as an engineer, I'm doing a lot of dodging. Grace under fire is for that one special thing that engineers get called miraculous repairs. I have that on my ship set to auto so that I get down to a certain point, do miraculous repairs, bring my hull back up, and then that thing right there cools down your miraculous repairs. It resets it so that it can do it again. So basically you get two 1-up lives. Here's elusive, plus 10 defense. That goes along with that other thing that I picked with the defense, stacking a good foundation. Secret command codes is something that I like because a lot of people like to use placate, things like that. And this puts resistance on placate, disable, hold, root, confuse, all that. And it has damage resistance, and it gives you hit points. They're the nice secret command codes. This one I pop in and out. It's called Fleet Coordinator. You get plus 2% bonus damage. There's that bonus word again for all per team member, including yourself. So you get plus 2% bonus damage just for being there. If you're on a team of 3, suddenly that's, plus 6% bonus. So if you have all 5, it's 10% bonus damage. That can be quite a lot. So I will quickly go over these. Not everybody can get all of them because it depends on the ship you get. This one came from an Arbiter. It's a pretty easy one to get. I use emergency weapon cycle because I use emergency power to weapons, and that does that 20% firing haste for your energy weapons and negative 50% weapon power cost. So not only do I have fast the EPS transfer, then I've got this cycle going on to keep it going. Pedal to the metal, I like to fly fast. I get 2% damage for every 2 seconds spent at full throttle up. I spend every battle at full throttle. I never slow down. So I'm always at plus 20% max. All bonus damage. There's that bonus word again. So there's more bonus damage just for going fast all the time. Built to last. This is one of those special ones that came with the legendary Talus. It's a pretty good one for regenerating. And then there's Assault Formation Theta, which goes with Attack Pattern Omega or Decloaking. Like I said, I like to be cloaky. And that grants a lot of stuff there. There's Theta. You can see it right there. Only with the legendary Talus, though. And this one is very hard to get. It's called Cold Hearted. Came with a Breen ship. And it is, well, it's the bread and butter of an Aux to Bat build because you are also, once per firing cycle, when you use your energy weapons, slowing people down and taking their resistance away and taking the subsystem power and max down. So it just keeps on going around and around. Space reputations, sensor targeting assault. I like to hit with critical hits, so a critical hit will take their weapons offline for 5 seconds, and then 20 seconds later I can do it again. 5% critical chance, there's that crit chance, that is gold right there, plus 5. Critical deflection, this is something that I use because it is the anti-me. Anyone who's running at you with critical chance, they hit you, they lose all their critical, and that's what it says. Somebody hits me with a critical hit, the rest of their hits are not going to be critical unless they have something that debuffs that. But odds are that shot that they get off is the very first and only critical, and then they're going to have to wait 5 seconds, at which point I will try and turn around and get them. Advanced engines, I like to fly fast, I like to turn fast. And advanced targeting systems, 20% critical severity, because more of that gold. Let's see, on the ground here, I like to run fast. There's outgoing damage received as healing, so the more I shoot, the more I heal. Personal cloaking device. If I get way down there, I get 75% bonus all damage, which is that, bonus word again, and I get pretty stealthy. It doesn't always work depending on what you're doing, but it helps. And then lethality is plus 5 critical hit chance, which is that, gold crit hit on the ground. These things, not so much important. The active reputation, you can set all of these to auto, which is the reason I have these slotted and not other things like the tethered asteroid, which you have to trigger manually. Quantum singularity manipulation, visual dampening field, Deploy sensor interference platform. This can help confuse your enemies. And biomolecular shield generator. It's that giant green ball that appears in space with little lightning bolts, and it's good for you and bad for other people because you regenerate your shields inside of it. So just keep flying into the ball to regenerate those shields that keep on dropping. So let me just quick show you what I'm doing right now. Right now I prefer intelligence for my specialization, a strategist for my secondary. It's just working out that way right now because intelligence gives you a whole lot of sneaky stuff, and it also gives you flanking. Strategist gives you a whole bunch of things, whether you're threatening or you're not threatening, and either way it gives you bonuses all the way down. And some of these other ones, I've almost finished command, but I've got a full miracle worker, pilot, and temporal operatives. Sometimes you switch these out. For a long time I had miracle worker as my secondary because it does help with a lot of healing. Pilot makes you faster and do a lot of dodge maneuvers and really neat stuff. Temporal operative is the primary one you'd want for science, but I choose intelligence because that's why I'm Houdini. I want to make those cloaky things faster. I want to make them stealthier. And strategist because I want to hit harder. So that is me. And yeah, there's my replica machine gun, there's my sword, and I've chosen the Nukara set here, which is this sword, that armor, and that shield, and together they do let's see, 3 out of 3 resonance imbalance with shield regeneration and shattering harmonics, which adds all those different things. We call it the shadow realm because it kind of puts you into a shadow world for a while. You can run faster and avoid things and dodge, and it's really weird. It makes the whole game look very funny, but it also makes your map go all staticky. It's kind of scary at times. My kits change around all the time, but for colony invasion, you got to have these things in there for an engineer because you want to put up shields, you want to put up medical generators, dot drone, assimilate I always have on, and solar gateway I always have on, but other things I pick for different specific missions. I use the Delta Expedition Engineering kit for my frame because there's that magical number plus 17.5 critical severity. I got proficiency and then kit performance, like I said, which is most important to me. And you can't live without your 10th anniversary party horn, just in case you want to blow up balloons and say hooray to the void and congratulations. So that's me and my character build. I'll do some more videos for ships. Depending on the ship, we will wait later to do this one, but I will start out next time with a T6 ship that's built that anyone could do. Later.